All right. Anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? How are we doing? Hey, Encore. Hey, Russell. How's it going, guys? Hey, Darren. What's up, man? Hey, how's the audio? Am I coming in loud and clear? All right. Yes. Russell says yes. Awesome. Awesome. How's everybody doing? Jeff. What's up, man? Hey, Jeff, congrats on the pickup today, buddy. Screenomatic, how you doing? Yeah, we'll talk about the Miss Pack stencils in a bit. Crystal clear. Angelina, how we doing? Awesome. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Frog Puppet, what's up? Sam, how you doing? All right. How's the video? Looks like we don't have any flicker, which is great. Hey, Wicked Arcade, thank you. Jeremiah, Coin Op Corner, how we doing? Kurt Mason, what's up? All right. We got a lot going on. I got a whole agenda, a whole outline of stuff to cover. Really, really excited. We'll get started with a little bit of Robotron 2084 soon. Zoner 69. Hey, thank you, Russell. Video's good. Audio's good. It's a little bit crooked, but hey, you know, the earth is tilted. So, I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between gameplay, and I'll have, you know, the camera on me a little bit. I'll be doing my best to kind of monitor the live chat. So, Sheila and Jade, what's up? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'll be bouncing back and forth between being in front of the camera and behind the camera. Awesome. So yeah, I'll be monitoring the live chat, but you know, obviously when I'm playing, Jerry with the $499 million super chat. He says, "Congratulations, brother." Thank you, Jerry. Jerry, I think I've said this before. Your screen name shouldn't be Jerry Voluptuous. It should be Jerry Generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jerry's also one of our channel members, as is Frog Puppet. As you can see by that little, almost like a sheriff's badge next to Frog Puppet's name there. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jerry. Very, very generous of you. You've been an awesome supporter. Yeah, and we've been having a ton of fun in the members-only Discord. Yeah, shoot me, $12. What a great avatar. We've been having a ton of fun in the members-only Discord. You know, looking at deals popping up on Facebook. I know Jerry's been working on a monitor. I think it's in his Mortal Kombat 2, right? And Jerry, yeah, if you want to tell everybody in the live chat, you've got some games that people can play, right? Jerry owns a pizza restaurant, and I think he's got some games in there that the public can play while they're waiting for a delicious pizza pie. Awesome. Wow, 17 people already. Crazy. 6 minutes in. Yeah. Why don't we play a little bit of Robotron? Grab a couple quarters here. Now I've got the camera sort of, I should have thought this out better. I'm kind of in a awkward position. I'm sort of wedged in between the Robotron and the asteroids, and I'll try not to bump into anything. I'll try not to bump the camera. Let's go ahead and coin up. There we go. And yeah, Robotron is one of my favorite games, but you know, I never claimed to be a great player at any of this stuff. So hopefully you can see and hear pretty well. I'll check after the first game and see if anyone's having problems. And I should probably pay attention given how frantic of a game Robotron is. And I don't know if I necessarily have a great strategy, except don't die, right? Oop. And just as I say that, right? And you do want to collect the people, save the humans, save the family as much as possible, because you get big points for that. And points also equals lives. And those are quite a premium in this game, because you die a lot. Yep. And if you see, my arms are like straight out. I can barely reach. There we go. Ooh, 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 ooh. There we go. Oh, that was a bad beat. All right. All right. We'll be talking a bit about Robotron here. More than just what you see on the screen. Oh, not doing so hot. Yeah, so I'll pause after this game real quick and I'll check and see if everyone's able to see what's going on. Nope, that's not great. Yeah, so how is that looking? Oh, that's not even going to be a high score for me. Let's see. Yeah, flashing lights everywhere. It's enough to give you, send you into an epileptic episode. Oh, Michael B, the Game Genie, is he looking for a Robotron? I actually have two. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So was the video coming in? Was everyone able to see that okay? Why don't we play one more game of Robotron real quick. Again, don't take this as a tutorial at all. You could probably see my high score there just a second ago. It was like 400,000, something like that. But don't expect anything like that on camera. Oops, that wasn't great. Oh man. Yeah, so not a tutorial. Definitely not a gameplay tutorial. But yeah, tell me in the live chat what you want me to sort of play, right? If there's games you want me to play, stuff you want me to talk about. Oof, that was bad. Yeah, any kind of questions, we'll do some Q&A, we'll do channel updates, project updates, talk about what's coming up, what I've been up to. And, oh, that was bad. That was real bad. Yeah, a lot of ground to cover. All right. But what an awesome game. What a frantic, oh, that's terrific. Terrific. And I think if I do this, whoa, extreme close-up. All right, let's come on back over here and sit down for a moment. Sorry if the camera was going up my nose or anything like that. Whoa. And this setup, I'm still trying to figure out what's a good sort of, yeah, the camera's all crooked here. But hey guys, welcome to the live stream. Hope everyone's having a great time. Let's see if I'm missing anything in the live chat here. Nick Nostalgia, congrats Charlie. Congrats to you, Nick. I think you talked about this publicly, so it's not any thunder that I'm stealing from you, but Nick just got a new job. Nick's working, I think, part-time at Paradise Arcade, which is an awesome vendor of arcade parts. They sell lots of different stuff. I've bought stuff from there before. So definitely recommend checking out Paradise Arcade. I'll put a link, or if Nick, if you want to put a link in the chat, definitely one of the vendors that I trust and I recommend. So awesome for Nick to get a job there. Troy's Restorations. Troy has been, and we'll talk a little bit about Troy later. Troy has been a huge help to me, you know, off camera, helping with technical stuff, helping with parts. So Troy is awesome. And if you haven't subscribed to Troy's channel, definitely do that. Who else? Liam, I'm assuming this is Liam. Could be Liam and Sam from Retrobotics. Another fantastic channel, just like Jeremiah, who's in the chat here too, from Opcorner. Both of them have YouTube channels. Both of them do the Coin Jam podcast with me every month. We live stream that on here on YouTube, and we also post it on all the audio version on all the popular podcast platforms. Yeah, we're both here. Yeah, hey Liam, hey Sam. Carlos is one of my oldest subscribers. Thank you, Carlos, for your enduring support. Jumping General, another awesome friend who I just recently had the chance to meet in person for the first time at an awesome local arcade party, which I'm kind of wearing the shirt from. Jeff Kinder, holy smokes. I think that's $1 billion donation, $1 billion super chat. Thank you, Jeff. So if you guys don't know Jeff, he is a legend for a couple of reasons, right? So he's probably best well known for the Dragon's Lair project. So that goes back to like early 2000s, if not, was it late 90s, Jeff, when that first got started? So Jeff, you know, huge guy in the late 1997. Wow. So, you know, huge in the Laserdisc arcade game community, you know, so obviously Dragon's Lair being the first of that, and Space Ace and Mach 3 and Firefox and all kinds of awesome games like that, which are, you know, notorious for having all sorts of issues, right? Laserdiscs, the players go bad, all kinds of stuff. And so, you know, Jeff started this website to, you know, promote collecting and restoring and repairing Laserdisc arcade games. So a huge resource for anyone, you know, working on that kind of stuff. And I know like Liam and Sam from Retrobotics right here, you know, just wrapped up. They just did the final part of their Atari Firefox restoration, which I think is Atari's only laser game, or at least the only one that went, you know, sort of mass produced, wide release. And I know for them that Jeff and his website, you know, all those resources, absolutely essential to help Liam and Sam get that Firefox working again. It's running the original Laserdisc player. It's running the original, you know, notorious Amplifone raster monitor. So Troy, thank you so much. I'm sorry, Jeff, thank you so much for that awesome super chat donation. Really appreciate it. And the other thing that Jeff is really well known for, other than being a super awesome guy, is he's got a YouTube channel also called What Would Jeff Kinder Do, or WWJKD, and he's done a bunch of awesome restorations, including ones that stick out to me were Mikey and Circus Charlie. You know, two sort of, you know, relatively rare, you know, Konami's. No, it was Mikey, and what was the other one? Was it Circus Charlie? Was it Circus Charlie? Yeah, so I think those were Konami-developed games released by Centauri. So awesome restorations. And I had the chance to play those games recently. Jeff had through a massive arcade party up where he lives in New Jersey. Liam and Sam and I were there. Lots of other folks were there. Really incredible. Jeff has, I think, just about 100 games. I think he's just shy of 100 games, and he just picked up one today. If he wants to talk about it in the live chat, that you would have thought might have been his, you know, one of his first games, but I think it's 101. Wow. So Asteroids, Jeff's 101st game in his collection as of today, Atari Asteroids. So congratulations, Jeff. Thank you for your support and everything you've done for this, you know, community for, you know, 20 plus years, you know, going on 30 years now. What an awesome guy, and really just an awesome person. If you ever interact with him online, in person, whatever, just a great dude. And you know, really appreciate your support, Jeff. You've been a great sort of influence, and just, you know, just an awesome resource. So thank you. Stringer Films coming in with the $200 million donation in the super chat. Stringer, thank you. That's not your first one, so thank you for being a repeat donation person. And that's not why I do this, but I appreciate the support. You guys are really awesome. Stringer we have a lot of fun. I see him all the time in live chats for, you know, other content creators on YouTube, like Sheen Lion, who's been in the chat here, like Retro Ralph. You know, so I see Stringer all the time, and we have a lot of fun on Twitter also. So follow Stringer Films on Twitter, at Stringer Films. You can follow me at Overtime Arcade. Awesome. Thank you so much for that support. Russell checking in to say, speaking of Dragon's Lair, just completed the card and sticker set. Oh, that's cool. Was that like the trading cards, I think, they had for those? I know I've seen, I have some Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man sort of scratch-off kind of cards. I don't think they were like lottery tickets or anything like that. They were like, I don't know, like trading cards that had like a game, you know, built into them with the scratch-off stuff. All right, so right on schedule, 23 viewers. This is really cool. So thank you everyone for showing up. thank you for all the support. This is, this live stream is meant to be kind of a celebration. We'll cover a bunch of different stuff. We'll do some channel and project updates. We'll do some more gameplay. I've got something that I can fix live in person. It's actually on the Joust, believe it or not. Joust is not perfect. Joust has a couple of things that I can do. Angelina in the live chat, yeah, CoinOp is having a huge, so this is actually somebody that I know, kind of a friend of a friend. So on CoinOp Connections, which is a Facebook group that I think is connected to like CoinOp Warehouse or CoinOp Amusements. So this is Casey, who owns a bar. Is it Reboot or Robot or something like that in Binghamton, New York? He just posted on CoinOp Connections. He's selling a bunch of black and white projects that are kind of working, right? So these are all games that are a little bit flaky, not super reliable. They all work, but he's been having trouble keeping them, fully up and running full time at his public location. He's got like 100 games on location in Binghamton, New York. I've never met him. I've never interacted with him, but he's I think a friend of Ty. If you guys know Ty Laurie he's at Ty, Tighe on Clav. He's also at Ty K Laurie on LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, on Twitter. Ty's also been on the John Show a couple of times. John from John's Arcade on Video Game Outsiders. And Ty is, I think, friends with Casey, who owns that arcade. Uncle Tiggy, yeah, Uncle Ty. And Casey is the one that posted that CoinOp Connections listing. Yeah, Angelina saying it's got Clowns, Asteroids Deluxe, Atari Basketball, Tank. I think there was also, there's another couple of good ones I saw. Anyway, if you throw the link in there, Angelina, if you don't mind. But yeah, a lot of great stuff to cover tonight. Feel free, ask me any questions you want to hear about. Want to see me play a game, you want to hear, hey, what's going on with this project, anything at all, feel free to ask me. But just to kind of get into what I was planning on covering tonight, sort of starting with some channel updates. So this live stream is really a celebration of hitting 1,000 subscribers. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, all of you, for all of the amazing support you've been giving me over these past, 8 months, 9 months? I think I posted the first video maybe in early October, something like that. And it's been an amazing, amazing journey. This was kind of the goal that I set for myself, to try to, I thought it would take about a year to hit 1,000 subscribers. And we actually hit it on May 26th, which I think that was 7 months after I started. And yeah, that was almost 2 months ago. And so sorry that I've been behind, but, I had a lot of stuff going on and finally wanted to get this live stream together, just again to thank all of you for all of your amazing support. It really means so much to me. Jumping General, how many cabinets are in your collection right now? I think I'm at 29, like strictly limited counting. What really counts, I would say 29. There's 2 more that probably don't count. We can get into all that in a little bit. So yeah, we hit 1,000 subscribers on May 26th. So yeah, it's been about 2 months. Sorry about that. But so I think, for me personally, I feel like I've completely smashed the goal that I had of doing this, getting to 1,000 in a year. We hit that in about 7 months, which is just completely blow me away. So thank you so much for all of the amazing support. I really appreciate, everything you all do, the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, all that. And now that, the channel's been monetized and we have access to these other options, things like these super chats are absolutely amazing. Completely unnecessary, but super appreciated. If all you ever do is watch my videos and maybe hopefully subscribe, that's plenty for me. But half of them are in the garage, Liam and Sam. But yeah, all of this support is, I'm still in shock, every time something like this happens. So one of the things that, hitting 1,000 subscribers does is it unlocks some new tools for YouTube content creators. So if you're not, up to speed on the behind the scenes stuff with YouTube really doesn't take you seriously as a channel until you hit 1,000 subscribers, right? Before you hit 1,000 subscribers, there's a lot of stuff that's locked down. There's a lot of stuff you don't have access to. Thank you, Russell. And hitting 1,000 subscribers is really when all that stuff starts to unlock, right? And yeah, we're not a massive channel. I'm not getting any kind of plaque or anything like that. But YouTube does start unlocking some certain tools, once you hit 1,000 subscribers. The thing that's probably most important to me is priority processing of video uploads. So I've talked with Dell from Dell's Arcade quite a bit. Yo, Eddie, what's going on, brother? About this, right? So before I hit 1,000 subscribers, you know, when I would upload a new video to YouTube, and typically the way my sort of, you know, rhythm works is I work on stuff, you know, on you know, evenings during the week, right? And sometimes it takes, you know, 3-4 days to do enough work on something, you know, a part of a restoration project or a pickup video or whatever, where I've got enough content together. I got enough sort of, you know, raw footage that I've shot just on my phone. I use my phone as my camera, and then, you know, typically, excuse me, Thursday, Friday is when I'm editing. Maybe sometimes on Saturday, you know, taking all of that video and condensing it down. And typically, especially for an in-depth restoration episode, it's about, you know, 3 or 4 to 1 from the amount of raw footage to, you know, edited footage. So if I release, like, you know, most of my videos are around an hour, there's usually at least 3 or 4 hours of raw footage that I've shot to edit down. And then I've got this, you know, 4K video, an hour-long 4K video, which is typically like, excuse me, 20-something gigabytes. I upload that pretty easily. Stringer, oh my gosh, another $200 million super chat. Stringer Films, go subscribe to him. He's got 882 more subscribers to go until he hits 1,000. So let's see if we can get him over the 150 mark tonight. Everyone goes and subscribes to Stringer Films. So uploading this, you know, 20, maybe 25 gigabyte 4K 1 hour video, that goes pretty quickly. I've got a decent internet connection. Hopefully that's working with the video tonight, and I'm not getting any warnings here. But then I have to wait for it to process, right? So YouTube has to do all of its checks. It has to do all of its rendering. It does a bunch of, you know, transcoding, whatever type of stuff, right? To get it to, you know, gets into all the different sort of resolutions, right? It does the 4K, but it also does regular HD, 720, 480, blah, 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 blah. It does all of its, you know, copyright checks and make sure I'm not ripping off, you know, some musician or whatever. It does all of its, you know, all of that stuff. And before I hit 1,000 subscribers, you know, you're at the bottom of the priority queue for that. And I've had it literally take sometimes almost 48 hours for it to process that video, which is incredible. And one of the things that Dell from Dell's Arcade was telling me is that once you hit 1,000, you get prioritized over all of those sort of, you know, non-monetized channels. And like I've seen with the last couple of videos that I've done, it's only taken like an hour or 2 or 3 to do it, which is a lot better than 24 to 48 hours. So I can get this stuff going, you know, faster. So that's an awesome thing. The other things it does is it allows the channel to become monetized, right? So again, if you don't know, before you hit 1,000 subscribers, YouTube doesn't give you any money or anything, right? So if you ever watch a channel like Stringer Films, who has fewer than 1,000 subscribers, you'll see ads on Stringer Films videos, but none of that ad revenue goes into Stringer Films' pocket, right? So similarly, before I hit 1,000 subscribers, all the ads that you saw in any of my videos, Google, you know, YouTube, Alphabet took all of that money. None of it went to me. So now that I have been monetized, I do get a share of that revenue. Most of that comes from the full-length videos. There's a little tiny bit that comes from shorts. I do some shorts every now and then. YouTube's really trying to push shorts because they're in this kind of battle, you know, market battle with TikTok, and I do have a TikTok too. I don't do a ton there, but usually I cross-post any of my short videos over to TikTok. So now that I'm monetized, I also do have YouTube Premium too, Stringer Film. So yeah, you do have ads, and you know, if you have YouTube Premium, which basically you pay YouTube to get rid of the ads, it'll let you download videos, watch stuff with the video off if you ever want to like listen to the podcast without having your screen on to burn the battery. YouTube Premium, I think, is worth the payment. And I think the content, people that you watch, channels that you watch, if you're a YouTube Premium subscriber, get some sort of slice of your YouTube Premium subscription. I forget how much it is, $7 a month, something like that. So yeah, so now that we're monetized, we get, you know, and it's been about $1 a day, right? The ad revenue, which, you know, it's great, right? It's not going to change the world. I'm not, you know, going to quit my day job anytime soon or anything like that, but it's cool, right? Another thing that it allows you to do that people have been so generous already in the live chat is super chats and super thanks, right? So super chats are like Stringer Films has done here, like Jerry did earlier, like Jeff Kinder blew me away earlier, right? You can basically donate some money to the channel by clicking on that little dollar bill icon, and you can throw a couple dollars at me. Again, completely unnecessary, but totally appreciated if you decide to do that. The only thing I'll ever use that for is stuff for the channel. Maybe I'll buy better equipment or buy some part for some project or something like that. And super thanks, I think, are similar, but they're for videos as opposed to, you know, live stream. So super chat is like in the live stream, in the live chat, and I think a super thanks is just something you do to a normal video. And I think Jerry might have done one of those too. You know, Jerry's been absolutely incredible. Another thing it allows you to do, which we've been having a lot of fun with lately, is channel memberships, right? So there's like 2 tiers now. You can be a subscriber to Overtime Arcade, which is completely free, always free. And basically all that does is say, hey, I like the content Charlie's doing, and I want YouTube to tell me, you know, send me an alert anytime. I want that to show up in my subscriptions feed anytime Charlie releases a new video. And if you hit that little notification bell, you'll get a notification in your YouTube app on your phone or you know, tablet or whatever when I upload a new video. And it's almost always Sundays around 3 p.m. Eastern time. But there's now this new thing, channel memberships, where again, you can pay a couple of bucks, right? And like different channels can set different prices, you know, different tiers, whatever. Sometimes you can have multiple tiers. I've only got one tier. It's $1.99 a month, which works out to 7 cents a day. I know they make you jump through all these hoops. The easiest way to do it is if you're on your laptop, if you're on a computer, there should be a join button somewhere that you can click on. I think Stringer Films, your shirt has shipped. I think I saw a notification. I think everyone who has, we'll get to that in a little bit. Shirts, right? So yeah, if you're interested, hit that join button. There's a little like commercial that I put together, sort of a parody of an old Sally Struthers, you know, Save the Children a video. And yeah, for for $2 a month, you can become a paid channel member, and it's a great way to support the channel. And you also get access to a few really cool. Nick, what's going on, man? How you doing? 108 degrees, Central California. Oh my gosh. Whew, I hope your air conditioning's working. So, you know, with your $1.99 channel membership, you get access to a couple cool things. So you get early access to all new videos. So folks like Jerry and Frog Puppet and others can attest to, they've been watching all my videos on Saturdays, right? So I've been doing a really good job getting things edited, you know, by Friday night, Saturday morning, and then uploaded to YouTube Saturday morning. So usually by Saturday afternoon, all the channel members are able to get early access, members only access to those videos, and that's great. And they also like tell me, you know, what they like, what they don't like, that sort of thing. Then all the regular subscribers, all the regular viewers watch it when it normally gets released on Sundays, again around 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time typically. So they get early access to all the new videos. Another thing they get access to, we have a members only Discord server. So if you're on Discord, it's kind of like a chat room, instant messenger. It's kind of like Slack, right? It's kind of like Facebook Messenger. We've got a members only server there, members only chat room, where we're having a lot of fun talking about what we're working on. I'm giving folks, sort of behind the scenes of what's going on. I ask for input on, hey, what do you think about, I've got a couple of different ideas for a title here or a thumbnail for an upcoming video. We've been sharing sort of, links to deals that we're seeing. That's been really great. I've been asking questions. People have been asking me questions. It's a ton of fun. So thank you everyone that's joined that. I know I think we've hit 8 members so far. In the chat, I know we have Jerry Voluptuous. We had Frog Puppet. Dell from Dell's Arcade is a member. We have Arctic Arcade. We've got, and Slowcade, both of whom are from Norway. We've got Stock Jock. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel, now I feel like I need to go and just sort of, where is it? Right here. Who else? We have Stock Jock, Slowcade, Jerry Voluptuous, Frog Puppet, Dell's Arcade. Who else we got? Whoa, we got new subscribers. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing a few folks. Where we go? Memberships. No, I think that, oh, Tricky Z33, who I haven't had a chance to really interact with yet, has been a member for about a little over 2 weeks now. So Tricky Z33, thank you so much for your support. All right, coming back here. So yeah, really appreciate all the support from channel members and having a great time interacting with them. Another thing we do for channel members is we're going to start doing members only monthly live streams. So something like this, we'll hang out, we'll chat, I'll play some games, we'll talk about what's going on. We're going to do our first monthly members only live stream next week on Tuesday. So around, same time, 9:30 Eastern, I think, on Tuesday. I also want to do some like weekend midday stuff, just because again, we have, a quarter of our channel members at this point are from Norway, so European time zone. So they're, quite a few hours ahead of us. So I think we'll do like a, maybe like a Saturday midday type of a live stream, so that, our channel members in Norway would be able to join that. So I know it's like, middle of the night right now over there, or like super early in the morning. But yeah, what else is going on? So another thing that allows us to do that I only just set up this past weekend is shopping, right? So with by hitting 1,000 subscribers, you're able to have like a store on YouTube, right? And you can sell like, swag and merch, right? Got to have merch. So over this past weekend, I set up a store through Spreadshirt. Tricky Z, oh, what's going on? Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so I set up a shop on Spreadshop, which is the same place that Delusional's Arcade uses. And so here is I also have a shirt, but here's my hat. You've probably seen me wear this a couple times from Delusional's Arcade. And I thought the quality was pretty good. So I got a couple of different options for what you can do for YouTube shopping. So I set up a store on Spreadshop. I'm waiting for, I placed a sample order of a couple different things, waiting for that to come in. I know Stringer Films placed an order, like he was mentioning earlier, that he's waiting on his shirt to be delivered. So, and I'm trying to do something fun with this store. So a couple of things I've done, one, as the store, and Nick is asking if I'm going to Southern Fried Gaming Expo. I can't, I've got some family obligations, unfortunately, that are going to prevent me from able to go. You should sell some of that stuff on the wall. I don't sell this stuff. I give this stuff away. So I was at a party a week or two ago, and there's 2 marquees missing over here. There's 2 missing over here. There's another one that was hanging over there. Then I was just, I've been giving them to people. I got these, years ago for like $1 or $2 a piece, and most of them are very much imperfect. They've got cracks or scratches or chips in them. But for people that need them and would actually put them on a cabinet, I'm happy to, especially if I'm able to do it in person and not have to pay shipping, I'll give it to them for free. I'd much rather have these things live on people's cabinets and not just hang up as artwork on my wall. So with the store, there's a couple of different things that I have control over. I can set the prices to some degree. So there's like a minimum, like, hey, this is what the cost is to get the shirt, printed and shipped or whatever. And then I choose my kind of like, whatever margin on top of that. I'm trying to keep it, pretty low. So like the basic shirt is like 20 bucks, right? And right now for the first 2 weeks, it's 15% off. So that price is even coming down. And I'm going to do as many different sales as I can. Like, it gives you options. I think you can do a couple a month. So I'm going to try to put stuff on sale as often as possible. But I think 15 is going to be one of the better deals that's available. So if you want to hop on that, that's great. So I've done a few sort of basic shirts, right? Both regular and tall, right? And I think it goes up to like 5X. A lot of us have these, arcade bellies, arcade bodies, and we need the larger sizes. So Screenomatic says, "Hey, overtime shirts, I'll take 2 and extra medium." Is that like a medium? I don't know what extra medium is. Maybe medium tall. So I've got normal like overtime arcade, logo T-shirts, and there's all different colors and sizes and whatever, including tall sizes. And there's overtime arcade stickers and hats. I know Cameron McCaslin, who was on one of our podcast episodes recently. He's based in Nashville. He scored that amazing like trailer full of games, including like the Rockola Fantasy and some other cool stuff. He really wanted a hat, so there's like overtime arcade hats on there. And if there's something that you want that's not there, hoodies, long sleeve t-shirts. I know all of our friends that are sweating out there in the West right now probably don't want a hoodie, but anything you want. You know, somebody was asking about, I think it was Jumping General was asking about like a knit cap, like a wool cap. I'm trying to figure that out. You have to do different artwork. You know, it has to be vector artwork for embroidery, but we'll try to get something going with that before the winter. So yeah, if there's things that you want that you don't see, you know, let me know. The other thing I'm trying to do is not just do logo wear, right? Like everybody can just throw a logo on a t-shirt, and I appreciate that. Hey, awesome, you want to rock an Overtime Arcade, you know, t-shirt or hat or something to rep the brand, that's great. The other thing I'm trying to do is just, you know, I've got some ideas for what I think would be kind of cool, just arcade t-shirts, right? So the first one I did, kind of inspired by, you know, doing the cap kit on the Geo7 for the carnival the other day. I think it was this past weekend's video. I did a t-shirt with two sides that sort of shows the classic, notorious silkscreen printing error on the Geo7 chassis, where the top of the board, so the part side, has the way it's supposed to be, right, with the correct polarity for capacitor C302, but the back side has that printing error. Like on the back of the t-shirt has the solder side where it has the polarity wrong. So if you're ever doing a cap kit, make sure you're following those instructions very carefully on where, you know, how to insert the capacitor the right way. Darren, thank you, said the Geo7 shirt is brilliant. So I've got some more ideas for what I think might be fun things to do kind of along those lines. And if there's any ideas that you do have, you know, please send them to me. I'd be happy to throw them on a t-shirt. And, you know, maybe I can get you a discount code or something like that to get it to you at cost. I don't know if it'll let me do that. What am I missing in the live chat here? Stringer Film says, waiting for those tube shirts to drop. I do have a couple of like CRT t-shirt ideas too. Somebody, Nick needs help washing his hair. I'm not sure what's going on with that. And then Russell asks if anyone's in Thornton, Colorado. So I don't know if, I don't think Nick's out there. I think Nick is in, Minnesota or something like that. Oh, Screen-O-Matic is in Colorado. Yeah, there's a lot of great arcade collectors and arcades in Colorado. I've been out there a couple of times. I get out there once or twice a year for work. And a couple that stick out to me are the one-up arcade bars in Denver, in and around Denver, and then more down towards like Colorado Springs. There's the Manitou Springs Penny Arcade, which is a lot of fun. Minnesota. Yeah, Liam and Sam say, love the Geo7 shirt, peak nerddom. And Liam also gave me an idea for something that's going to come later. There's a game that I'm probably going to need to get, or at least have an opportunity to work on, that makes that t-shirt design make sense. I just dropped the cap from my water bottle. Anyway, I'm rambling. So yeah, if you've got ideas, you know, let me know. And again, none of this is necessary. You don't need to become a channel member, although I appreciate it if you did. You don't need to super chats. You don't need to buy shirts. But if you want to do that kind of stuff, I wanted to provide people with, you know, an opportunity to do that. You know, watching my dumb videos is plenty, right? That's still the best way to support the channel. But if you want to do anything more, you know, that's always appreciated. And if you have any ideas for other perks, other things that I can do for channel members to make those memberships more lucrative, more interesting, please let me know, because I'm always open to that kind of stuff. Liam says that Sam and him were just at Fun Spot up in New Hampshire. Yeah, that's definitely one that I have to get to. I got a trip to New England coming up soon, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make it all the way up to New Hampshire. Stringer Films with another $200 million donation. I think you're going to break the economy at some point. Thank you so much. He says, crap, I already hit send. Probably in response to me saying that was totally unnecessary. PD7, what's going on? We've been on a podcast live stream before together. Angelina says, what is your next black and white arcade? That is a fantastic question. Ones that are on my list, I would love to have an original Atari Pong, right? Like the original yellow, like the first game that Atari released under the Atari name, you know, sort of I think it was technically the second ever commercially released coin-op game after Computer Space. So would love to have an Atari Pong. I would love to have an Atari Breakout. So that was the game that famously, you know, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak worked together. You know, Jobs was an Atari employee. technically an engineer, but much better sales and marketing person than an engineer. And he kind of conned Wozniak into working on Breakout for him, sort of gave him some nerd bait of a hard problem to work on. If you've ever read Steve Jobs' biography or seen any of the biographical films on Steve Jobs, that's sort of a famous story. So love to have Breakout. Yeah, there's a bunch. Not circus. Clowns would be an interesting one. There were some cool ones, Angelina, in that listing that you were talking about earlier. So yeah, I do enjoy the black and white games. Kurt Mason says, I'm in the DC area, as am I, kind of in the outer DC area, but maybe at some point we should do some kind of, get together, pick there's a handful of places. I think some of the better, arcade spots, public arcades in the DC area are down. Fredericksburg's got a great one, Reclaim Arcade. I've done a video of that. There's another one, Crabtown, up in Maryland. That's pretty good. My buddy Mark, however, so Mark owns Back to the Media in Winchester, Virginia, which, maybe that's, 20 minutes, half an hour sort of, from my area. Winchester, so it's a shop. He sells used games, used music, records. He does a lot of auctions, live auctions on Facebook with selling vinyl records, that sort of thing. Stringer says his sister lives in Maryland and he's been to Crabtown. Yeah, Crabtown's got a ton of pins. Yeah, Frogs would be an awesome black and white game. I played that at Game Terminal down in Nashville. Encore's in the Windy City. Jerry just ate a bag of Fruity Pebbles popcorn. Oh, interesting. What was I even talking about? Yeah, so I think, Mark owns this shop, Back to the Media, used video games, used records. He's got this, and it's a really cool store. It's like at a great sort of, it's a perfect location in like this like walking mall in Winchester, which has great parking and walkability. It's sort of like this perfect spot. Great like storefront, whatever, great shop, check it out. If you're in person, check it out in person. If you're local, if not, he does stuff on Facebook, auctions, that sort of thing. And he's got this huge back room that he's really not using at all just yet, right? He's using it for like overflow storage, that sort of thing. And Mark is building an arcade for his game and record store in Winchester, Virginia. Just like me, he's got a garage full of broken games. Over the 4th of July holiday, I spent 2 full days at his house, hanging out with his family, eating his wife's cooking. Danny, thank you. And we were working on games. I think we worked on probably like 15 games. The first day we worked on 10 games and got 7 of them fully working. We spent a lot of time on Tempest the second day, and we're making progress. It's not kind of running yet. But anyway, at some point he'll do a grand opening, and anyone who's in the local area, I would love to have come. We'll hang out. We'll do probably some giveaways or something in person at the Back to the Media arcade when it launches, hopefully sometime later this year in the fall. So that'll be an opportunity to get together for anybody that's in, that was my hands, local to the Winchester, Virginia area, Northern Virginia. So anybody from around, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, whatever, would be a great sort of place to get there. Nick, thank you. It sounds like Nick is jumping off. Really, really appreciate it. Let's see. So where was I with my list? And so anyway, the grand result of all of this, hitting 1,000 subscribers, is I'm just going to keep doubling down on my commitment to produce this awesome content. So again, I feel like this is, the biggest thing to me is this is kind of like proof that, there's people out there that like the content that I'm producing. They like the videos that I'm producing, and it's not just a couple of weird people. It's quite a few weird people, over 1,000 weird people. So thank you, weirdos. We're approaching 1,200, so awesome. Thank you, Nick. We'll talk later, buddy. So that's kind of where we are and what we're doing with the channel. Now, projects-wise, I wanted to give kind of an update on what's going on with all the projects. Let's see if I've missed anything here. Stringer Films was talking about duck bowling. I've done duck pin bowling, like the small bowling balls and the small, like candle pin bowling. That was like the bowling alley closest to my house growing up. One of the things I remember playing there is when I was like a teenager, Star Trek, The Next Generation pinball. That was at that bowling alley. That's one of the reasons I got this machine here, which I can kind of show. Oh, that's the wrong way. Here's There's Star Trek right there. I do quite like classic Star Trek quite a lot. So whoops. Yeah. Jerry talking about the Wildwood, New Jersey boardwalk. I guess maybe that's where he got the Fruity Pebbles popcorn. Nick was signing off. Tricky Z says Tempest and Tapper are the top two that I'd like to have in my arcade. So yeah, I got the Tempest over there. We need to talk about Tempest a little bit. Tempest is a bit under the weather, although it is running, and knock on wood, you know, whenever you got a working color vector, especially Tempest. Tapper is also on my list, so if you all don't know, there's this website called VAPS, which is sort of associated with CLOV, so you go to vaps.org. It's the Vintage Arcade Preservation Society, and it's where they have like a massive survey, lots of information about games, and you can go and like post your collection and the games that you're looking for and whatever type of stuff. And so I've got, you know, everything that I've publicly revealed is on my collection list there, and then I have my wanted list, and Tapper is definitely on that. I'd be happy with either the regular Bud Tapper or Root Beer Tapper. Great game there. Big D Retro says got into restoring games himself. I'm assuming he just finished a Robotron. Enjoy even doing resto work for others as well. Love this hobby. Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. Angelina says Long Island Video Game Show at the Aviation Museum coming up on August 11th, 13th. Screwnomatic, thank you. It says the videos are great. Love being weird. Not that weird, right? There's 1,200 others that agree. Jerry says played ice cold beer for the first time. Meh. Jerry, I gotta probably disagree with you. It's definitely probably not for everybody. You know, if you haven't played ice cold beer, it's really like an electromechanical game. So released by Taito. It's like a vertical play field with a bunch of holes, and those holes sort of like going in the theme are like bubbles, and it's like beer, right? So it looks like a big old a stein of beer, and you have these two joysticks that just go up and down, so they're two-way joysticks, and there's this like metal pole that goes horizontally, and there's pulleys on either side that you control the joysticks, and you've got this like pinball, and you're trying to raise the hey, Jose says hi from Chicago. Raise the ball on this sort of metal bar and get it into the right, you know, holes that are lit up and whatever, and you're trying to avoid getting into the other ones. So definitely not for everyone, but I think that's a really cool game. I'd love to have one of those. Those are very, very expensive, and in fact, I think they were just reproduced. Like they're now manufacturing new ice cold beer, brand new ice cold beer entire games. Liam from Retrobotics says, haha, poor Tempest, only ever temporarily in order. Yeah, Tempest is never fixed. It's only ever temporarily working. Cybermind says, young Einstein comes to mind, bubbles and beer equals MC squared. Yeah, definitely a tough game, Kurt. Oh yeah, the price. Yeah, maybe the price to fun factor for ice cold beer kind of outprices it for some folks. So project updates. So I forget, somebody was mentioning earlier, Miss Pack. Yeah, so Ms. Pack is still waiting for the stencil. So if you followed that project, you know, we stripped all the black paint off, and you know, unfortunately the original stenciled artwork is just too far gone, especially on 2 of the 3 sides, that we can't just leave it the way it is. It's way too much to touch up. So I am going to go and you know, sand all the original artwork off and re-stencil it. And I did order stencils, and right now I think the only place you can get them from is This Old Game. I know Game Stencils years ago used to make them, but I think they got out of the business and sold all of their templates or whatever to This Old Game, and they're back ordered on This Old Game, and back in like, and so I ordered mine back order back in December, and This Old Game does awesome work for a very, very good price, but sometimes you do have to wait quite a while because they do things in batches, right? And I think somebody else I know, might be someone in the chat maybe, ordered, yeah, Russell, I ordered them in December of 2022. Yeah, the New England Game Shop that was actually a name I was considering, right? Like I was trying to think of, I remember being a kid and watching, you know, Bob Vila on you know, This Old House, and then, you know, Norm Abrams on the New Yankee Workshop. I was trying to think of like some version of New Yankee Workshop, you know, the New Arcade Workshop or something like that was a name that I was considering before I settled on Overtime Arcade. Yeah, Tricky Z says Tempest Games should have a 0 days without failure or a number of days without failure sign, and define failure. There's a lot of in between fully working and fully not working. So anyway, yeah, so ordered them in December. No sign of them yet. I've ordered things from This Old Game since that were in stock and have been delivered to my Pango art package. But yeah, still waiting on those Ms. Pack stencils. And I heard something in March or April that somebody else placed an order and like followed up and said, hey, any idea of timeline? And they said, well, yeah, this is one of our most popular back-ordered items, so it'll probably be soon. So soon is probably relative. Yeah, it was cold the last time I was working on Ms. Pack. I've been tempted to just put everything back into the game and at least have it running in the garage, right? Put the monitor in, put the power supply, put the game in, put the control panel on, and just play it, right? Just play it and while I'm waiting, because right now it's just, you know, everything's in pieces. The bad guy, Mike Worley, says, congrats, Charlie. Thank you, Mike. Really appreciate it. Mike's also been a guy that I've been on, I think it was Outrun the Neon Suns live stream. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so Miss Pack is still in a holding pattern, waiting on the, we'll get to that in a second, Stephen. So waiting on those stencils. I might at some point just like start getting ready and like sand everything down and maybe, you know, spray primer on it or something. Yeah, I did, yeah. So Russell's saying, you know, Charlie, you realize that you didn't make a big deal being in overtime on the overtime channel when playing Depth Charge, right? So Depth Charge, you know, as a black and white game, a lot of black and white games, you didn't pay for lives, you would buy time, right? And then you could have like extended time, almost like a racing game that they called overtime, and like overtime comes up on the screen. But yeah, I probably could have emphasized that more. I did intentionally put that in the original version of the thumbnail. Yeah, that video did not go well. So Angelina, back to your question of what's my next black and white game. I might need to take a break from black and white games, given how poorly the Depth Charge video did. And I thought that was going to be a surefire hit, you know, being a submarine themed video during that whole Titanic submarine, you know, ordeal. I thought it would be topical. Oh, Stringer, yeah. This Old Game should change their name to Overdue. I don't want to publicly speak poorly of This Old Game. They do good work. Good stuff takes time, you know. It's like cheap, good, and fast. Pick two, right? And yeah, it's the stuff is you know, usually worth the wait. So yeah, we're waiting on Zabo orders too. Yeah, I've had good luck with Joe Zabo. His stuff too has been pretty good. So yeah, we're waiting on the stencils for Miss Pack. Late breaking news, and I don't really want to move the. We'll maybe look at it in a minute. So right next to me, maybe I can show you like this. Can we even turn that far? Yeah, look at that. So what do you see here is the Play Choice 10. And we still have the, if we can see it, the black bar issue from the bad batch of reproduction flybacks on the top screen, sort of, you know, here. And so really, really exciting news and late-breaking developments. Peter from Arcade Parts and Repair, who is one of my favorite people in the world. I buy a ton of stuff from Arcade Parts and Repair. You're probably sick of hearing me talk about them. So he's done a ton of work to get a new batch of reproduction flybacks. So if you saw those videos that I did, you know, late last year about the Play Choice 10, I had trouble, you know, I had a bad flyback with one of the two monitors that are in this game. And I got some, the most recent batch of reproduction flybacks. And in fact, it already had a reproduction flyback in it. That one died. I put a new reproduction flyback in it, and there's issues with that batch, right? So the batch from last year that kind of all the vendors had all kinds of problems with those flybacks, and still does cause, you know, it works, but it causes this like black vertical line that makes it sort of really ugly. So been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and earlier this week, I think it was maybe Monday. Peter got a new batch of reproduction flybacks for the Sharp XM2001N monitors, which are very similar to the Sharp XM1801N monitors from the Nintendo Red Tent. That's the monitor that I have in my Donkey Kong Jr. Cocktail as a replacement for the original. New flybacks, they're in, they work. They've been tested by Mike from Mike's Amateur Arcade Monitor Repair, which should be Mike's professional or he's semi-pro arcade monitor repair. He is amazing. I love how in his videos he really walks through his process of troubleshooting and diagnosing the problem, and it's often very, very complex stuff. It's usually people try fixing stuff themselves and run into a brick wall and then send it to Mike for him to fix. Yeah, Stringer Films, Mike is the best. And he worked with Peter to test out these flybacks and confirm that they're working, but there was a little sort of thing where you needed to add a capacitor across, I think, a couple of the legs of the flyback to make it perfect, right? So that has been shipped. That is going to arrive tomorrow. So I'm excited to put a new flyback in this upper monitor in the PlayChoice 10 soon. And then we're going to rejuvenate both monitors, especially because the lower monitor has a better image, but it's dim and I can't get it any brighter. So I'm hoping that hooking it up to my rejuvenator will help that. And I also did get the Zapper light gun for the PlayChoice 10. I don't have a holster yet, but I have the light gun and I have a handful of games, and I want to get that bottom tube rejuvenated to get it nice and bright so that the light gun games work. So excited about that with the PlayChoice 10. Tempest, let's go and take a look at Tempest real quick. So come with me. We'll come over here, and I got a lot of games in the PlayChoice 10, Angela. 10 at a time, but I probably got, I think I'm maybe 20 short of the entire collection. So it's going to be hard to see because the camera's trying to do like auto stabilization, but the Tempest monitor is jittering real good, right? Really shaky. So I think relatively soon it's probably going to die on us. And whoa, what is going on? There we go. Sometimes this gimbal has a bit of a mind of its own. So Andrew B. From the Claw Forums, who I also had the fortune of meeting in person for the first time at Jeff's party, he is an absolute guru when it comes to vector games and vector monitors like the 6100 that I have in Tempest. He recommended probably installing a new LV 6100 kit, so I have one from Arcade Parts and Repair, and pretty soon we'll probably be trying to replace that on the monitor. I do have an older one in there, LV 1000 or 2000 or whatever it is kit. So I've got a new one that we're going to try out and see if that helps with the jittering. So we'll probably be working on Tempest sooner rather than later. And I've been having some practice working on Tempest on Mark's Tempest from Back to the Media in Winchester. Change Machine. So Stephen, I think Stephen Wallard is his last name, right? Yeah, Stephen Wallard, who also has a YouTube channel. He also does he does pinball. I know he's got a claw machine. He does like model train stuff too, which is kind of cool. He was asking about the Change Machine. So yeah, the Change Machine I haven't touched since around December. Definitely we'll get to it eventually. I should probably do there's probably some quick stuff I can do to it to at least get it working to some degree before I really do a full restoration. But yeah, that's sitting out in the garage. The Moon Patrol Cocktail, haven't been doing a ton. I've been getting parts for it. So I got a power supply, not a new one. I got a used one, a power supply that might have come from Brad Radell, maybe. I've bought a bunch of stuff from Brad, including the optical joysticks for the Joust. So I got a power supply for that because it was missing the original power supply. I know Takeman on the Claw Forums has been talking about doing a new run of Williams Cocktail joystick base rebuild kit. So a rebuild kit for the joystick bases for the Cocktail joysticks. So I'll be ordering some of those. I am excited to work on that Moon Patrol, that one that was left out in the rain for months. Qbert, I've been definitely gathering parts for Qbert. So I have pieced together almost an entire PCB set. There's a couple of things that I need, so we'll be hopefully working on that Qbert relatively soon. I did get a Qbert joystick. Excuse me. I need a bezel. I did get a marquee. I do need a bezel for Qbert. I mean, there are reproductions, but if there's a good, if there's a good original one out there, that'd be great. And with the other Qbert, the other Qbert cabinet that I have that's empty as well, I've been leaning towards turning that into a J-Rock Mad Planets, because I do have a Qbert J-Rock or a J-Rock Milestar Gottlieb board that I think I got that from Dell's Arcade. So thank you, Dell, if you see this. Yeah, Stringer needs everything for Qbert. He also asks, has anyone had experience with the Arcade Shop Repro Qbert joystick? No, because I do have an original, but I did buy the replacement, like the grommet rebuild from Arcade Shop. So I'll do a video as part of that Qbert restoration where I will see how well that does to kind of restore or rebuild the Qbert joystick. So I got a Mad Planets joystick, which is fantastic, like flight stick. I am looking for a spinner because it's a little bit different than the Tempest spinner. It's one that has like a red plastic base on the underside. And I know Arcade Shop has a repro, but they've been sold out of that for a while. Let's see, I've been missing a ton of live chat stuff here. Let's see. Yeah, Steve Lady, Katru. Steve's been a great supporter of the channel, and we've been becoming buddies too. You should follow him. He does. I think his channel is called Mosaic Arcade, but the channel handle or whatever is Katru311. Please throw a link. Steve was also on the Coin Jam podcast with us a couple months ago. Angelina says, "Ooh, Angelina has the PlayChoice 10 countertop. Now that is very cool. That is very rare." Don't tell Liam, because I know Liam wants a dual screen PlayChoice 10. I think if I ever got a countertop PlayChoice 10, I might be willing to trade Liam my dual monitor, but don't tell him I said that. Steve's getting a beer. Enjoy it. Screenomatic says, love the Pango restoration, but you should wait until winter to finish just to get in the mood. Like, yeah, I'll be making plenty of Ice Baby jokes with Pango. Stringer needs a Macvision flyback. I can't help you with that. He says, without Mike's channel, I'd be screwed. I think a lot of us would be. Yeah, tons of games in the PlayChoice 10. I can read them off to you right now. So right now I've got, I'll even just show you. Let's pivot and go like this. So I'll read them off. Balloon Fight, Castlevania, Contra, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Gauntlet, Mario Brothers, the original, Pinbot, Super Mario 3, and Trojan. So those are the games that are in the PlayChoice 10 right now. And I've been having a lot of fun with Mario Brothers in there. Kind of, the original, Mario Brothers wide body is definitely on my list of games to pick up one day. But the fact that I got Mario Bros for the PlayChoice 10 has satiated that hunger for a little bit. What else is going on here? Stringer says he's using the Zapper with the adapter in my Nintendo Gab. I did buy that too. So there is an adapter, so you can take like a Zapper like from an NES. There's an adapter, you can plug it into the PlayChoice 10. There's a different connectors, and I think things are like inverted the way it works, right? Like, or at least how the wiring works. So I do have an adapter. I've never used it. So now that I actually have the correct PlayChoice orange, light gun, I might, sell or give away that adapter at some point. Stringer's also running a High Score Saves multi versus daughter board. So that's interesting, right? So right now I don't have any High Score Saves kits in any of my games, but I've bought like half a dozen of them. Some from highscoresaves.com, some from is it Brazington, right? I just haven't installed them yet, so I might do a video where maybe I do them all at once, or I do a bunch of short videos where I do them for different games. Angelina talking about the Star Trek Vector. Yeah, that's a fun game. One of the things I've been watching a lot of lately is old episodes of Starcade, right? If you're not familiar with Starcade, it was a game show in the early 80s where it was often like fully grown adults playing arcade games against third graders, right? And it's the most ridiculous thing to see sometimes. But it was fun, a lot of trivia about games and playing games. And they had a bunch of rare stuff like Stern Journey, which is not Bally and Midway Journey, but a completely different game called Journey that I don't think was ever completely released. I don't think those ROMs have been dumped into MAME, but you can watch people play Stern Journey on Starcade. It plays a little bit like Bosconian or Sinistar. Yeah, they played a bunch of Star Trek was a staple on that show. Russell says he's having similar issues with his Omega Race cocktail. Ooh, I'm jealous of that. If you're as you're having with Tempest, yeah, Omega Race, that is definitely a fun game. Tricky Z33. He's got a Star Wars trilogy, would really rather have the original Star Wars Vector game. You know who else really wants Star Wars is Sam and Liam from Retrobotics. And boy, there was, I don't know if we want to talk about this. Any of you that follow Facebook Marketplace, especially on the East Coast, there was a heck of a deal that got posted yesterday up in around the Albany area. So I was talking with Ty about that, because Ty sort of, upstate New York, somebody, I guess, bought a storage unit or found a storage unit or whatever with like 15 games in it, a dozen to 15 games, and they were looking like for $300 a piece. I think they're like, they wanted $1,000 for Mizpac, they wanted $600 for Gyrus, and then everything else, $300 a pop. Robotron, Star Wars, they had two Tutankhamons, right? A bunch of other stuff, and my buddy Mark was going after it hard. He's like, I will be up there, I will pay full price, I will be there tomorrow with a trailer, but he got beat out by somebody else, and I think there was got into a bidding war. But yeah, there was a Star Wars, and I know Liam saw that posting and was like, right thing at the wrong place at the wrong time, type of thing. We talked about the Qbert joystick. Encore might have a Qbert bezel, and I know Encore. We were talking about this before. You're looking for a Atari Tetris marquee, and I do have one of those that otherwise is going to end up on my wall. Stringer asked one of those Milestar J-Rocks be in stock. They come up pretty frequently, right? There is a thread on Clov where people are constantly updating it whenever they go live. And also, what I've done in the past, it's how I got my J-Rock Williams, multi-Williams board, which I have as a backup. Send Steven, so Steven runs Arcade Shop, and I think that's based in Georgia. Send Steven an email and say, hey, can you let me know the next time it's in stock? And he will tell you, right? It's not automated, just send Steven an email and he will let you know the next time that's in stock. Outlaws from the West says, yo, so Eric, who is the content creator behind Outlaws from the West, is one of my oldest friends. I've known Eric since 1996. We went to high school together. We played high school football together. We've been friends ever since. I was in his wedding. He was at my wedding. I had a teeny tiny wedding. And he does a channel called Outlaws from the West. Definitely video games are different than what we do here at my channel. Outlaws from the West is primarily live streams of Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Red Dead Redemption, yeah. Often doing it, does it a bunch of times during the week. Does them for like 5-6 hours or longer on the weekends, and I often have it on in the background when I'm editing something or working on a thumbnail or whatever. And Eric's a great buddy, so thanks for coming out and hanging out with us a little bit. Stringer says, Steve says he's coming for that play choice with $200 cash in hand. Oh, he doesn't expect it shipped for $200? Jumpin' General says, how about a nice Congorilla to add into your room? He's been messing with me. He's trying to work out a trade. He wants to offer up a Congorilla for something, and no thank you. I've played Congorilla, which is like a quasi-licensed bootleg of Donkey Kong. Not particularly interested. Angelina has the adapter with a multi-cart for PlayChoice 10. I have thought about that because I have, quite a NES collection here, and you can have an adapter to play NES games on your PlayChoice 10. Troy, I don't need to necessarily read all of this. Troy, I think, is talking about the J-Rock Qbert board. Stringer watches Stargate every Saturday morning. Are you eating your Fruity Pebbles when you watch that? Stringer's in Georgia, as is Arcade Shop. Tricky Z says, really impressed with your Overtime Arcade marquee thumbnails that you've created using appropriate fonts and all. And it's, thank you, Eric. Yeah, blueberry beer at my wedding. So yeah, so Tricky Z, I was talking about this with Eric recently. I think he was asking me, or somebody was asking about these things. And so in the intro to my videos and like the sort of transition slides between scenes, I have, usually it's either a marquee or something from a flyer, or sometimes it's even like, like the title screen from a game, and like doing a parody of it with, Overtime Arcade instead of whatever, Sega Carnival or whatnot. I do that in PowerPoint, right? So I don't hire like a graphic designer, and I'm not a graphic designer. I do it in actually it's not PowerPoint, it's Keynote, which is like the Mac version of PowerPoint. Basically what I do is I find that original artwork, and there are these websites that you can go on that say like, upload an image and say, what what font is this, right? Like what, you know, like you can just Google like what font is this, right? Upload an image and it'll say, hey, here are like 100 fonts that are like somewhat similar. I figure out what's closest and I create like a parody of it and like copy and paste it over the top, you know, of the original. And that's how I do that. So thank you for saying that. Stringer was eating Fruity Pebbles. All right. So Russell says it's fun trying to figure out the actual name of the game. Yeah, and usually you find that out. So what we were talking about, Qbert, we left off with Qbert. So next is Missile Command, the Missile Command Cocktail. I haven't touched that one since. I am excited to get the Missile Command working again. I do like that game as hard as it is. Golden Tee, I've been working on that Golden Tee 99 that had, I still need to fix the monitor. We had I believe a PCB issue on that too. It boots, but I can't get the game to actually come up. It's like stuck in test mode. Troy, again from Troy's Restoration, super generous. He sent me a giant box with like 4, 5, 6 PCBs in it. Some of them are Golden Tee. Some of them are the bowling game. That's like the sister game to Golden Tee. Sent them to me free of charge, and I owe him some t-shirts for that, and I owe him a lot more. But that's what's going on with Golden Tee. Depth charge, I do have a couple things to do. I did order buttons and a cap kit. So depth charge originally actually came with red buttons. So the white buttons that are on my depth charge are not correct. So we'll do a depth charge video again at some point. But again, it's not a high priority given how poorly that first video did. Pango, I would consider Pango my primary restoration project right now. Next things to do on the Pango are I need to fix that monitor. So we'll be working on another Geo 7 again really soon. I need to repair the control panel because it was drilled for different buttons. Dell, hey man, were your ears burning? We've been talking about you a little bit. We were talking about the shop that we launched, and we used the same place that I got your hat from, Spread Shop. So everyone should go and subscribe to Delusionals Arcade if you haven't already. I've been hanging out with Dell a little bit in person a couple times the last couple of months. Awesome person who again has helped me out a ton behind the scenes with advice, right, about, you know, all the YouTube production stuff. And even though I do consider this a pretty low production quality, low production value channel, he's been giving me great advice on how to, you know, tweak and improve things a little bit here and there. And Stringer Film says, still has that Golden Tee 98 PCB if I need it. I appreciate it. Let me get through these other PCBs first, and if I need it, I will definitely let you know. Wayne's here. Yeah, now that flyback is available, I just ordered 4 of those flybacks, which are not cheap, but worth it. And I had just made another order from Arcade Parts Repair the previous week. So, because I've got 4 of those monitors, I've got 2 of the 20-inch ones in the PlayChoice 10. I have an 18-inch one, which came from a red tent that's running in my Donkey Kong Jr. And down underneath the Munsters pinball, I have a spare, don't tell anybody, I have a spare red tent monitor. Flyback's dead on that one too, so I'll use 2 of those flybacks right away and then have 2 in reserve, which will be good. Let's see. Yeah, so Pango I consider my primary restoration project right now. We'll get that art package installed soon. We're going to repair that. It's a metal control panel. I bought a bunch of JB Weld and I need some washers, get the right size of washers. I was watching a video that John's Arcade did like 10 years ago about using JB Weld to fix holes in metal. Because I'm not gonna get like a welding rig or anything like that. And Troy from Troy's Restorations was providing some good advice about that. The Dynamo, that's one of the ones that I picked up for free at the same time as the Pango. That one I need to touch up the paint. I'm going to rotate the monitor. That should be pretty easy and fun. And I think I want to put the Time Soldiers kit inside of that. Excuse me, the rotary joysticks and the PCB. But the sound is not working on that Time Soldier, so I got to figure out what's going on with that. And with Carnival, Carnival's still working. Knock on wood. Carnival, as I've learned from other folks that own a Carnival, that sort of generation of Sega Gremlin hardware is a bit flaky, as is Tempest. And as I turn around just to make sure Tempest is still running. So Carnival is still working. That really kind of scared me when I thought I had everything working because the monitor was back to life and whatever, like the B+, we got it all fixed. And then I go to power up the game and nothing on the screen and I'd blown a fuse, right? And I'll sort of like, oh, you're welcome, Del. I usually don't do this, right? So usually when I record things and we're doing it the first time together, I did, however, when I finished up that cap kit, it was super, super late and I really wanted to check it out. I did throw it and I wasn't like, I was wearing just like crummy clothes and I didn't want to get on camera. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate that. I'm not getting a popcorn machine and I'll never be able to replace John. I did power up the monitor and it worked. I sent a video, an image of the game playing to Liam, and I think I shared it in the members only Discord to prove that Carnival was working on that Geo7. And then the next day I got set up to actually film, right, like that reveal, and the monitor wasn't working. It was an F902 or the bigger fuse. I could get them backwards. One of the fuses blown. And I just replaced the fuse and it's been working ever since. My son was playing it tonight. I put a new high score on it of like, I want to say 14,000 something. I got to the third screen and the third stage and the second bonus stage. That was cool. I got a couple of times I did the bonus where you hit two different color two of the same color pipes with consecutive shots for like 4x bonus. So Carnival is working. What else is going on here? Yeah, I appreciate Delusional joining. I appreciate Wayne joining. Thanks for the kind words, Russell. Working on Stringer, working on Daytonas. Yeah, I think we all miss John. And I've been getting my John fix. So John has at least for now stopped doing John's arcade videos on YouTube, but he still does Video Game Outsiders. So this is a podcast. I think they're coming up on their 20th anniversary, maybe 25th, going on for forever. And I'll be honest, I don't really listen to Video Game Outsiders just because they cover a lot of like PC gaming and stuff that I don't necessarily do. But if you become a premium subscriber to Video Game Outsiders, which I think is like $1.99 a month, right? Yeah, hey guys, you get access to the John Show, which is like John's like personal like Dear Diary type of podcast where he talks about smoking meats with his Traeger and mowing his lawn and playing Call of Duty and stuff. And I would say maybe 5 to 10% of the content of the John Show is John talking about arcade stuff, whether it's his basement or the Hangar Pub and Grill that he does with Jay, who I've also had the opportunity to meet in person. Jay's an awesome guy. So if you're looking for that fix, I would say that's worth $1.99 a month to get access to the John Show. I've been going through old versions of that, which is great. So what's coming up, what to expect next couple of weeks and months on the channel? I think the video that I'm going to do this coming weekend, I want to do a quick one on really how to build that monitor test bench isolation transformer power supply. So you've been seeing this in the last couple of videos. I built this sort of thing to power a monitor with an isolation transformer, separate from a cabinet. I brought it to Mark's house. We used it there. He wants me to build one for him. I think Russell and others have been asking for the sort of, yeah, Steven, did you get banned from listening to Video Game Outsiders? So yeah, I'm going to do a video where I'm actually going to build Mark's on camera. So I've got all the parts. So I'll have the bill of materials and links to Amazon and like some of them I get from Arcade Parts and Repair. Here's everything you need to build one of these yourself. We'll do it together. And you'll have links to everything you want, everything you need to build it yourself. And it's just a nice little convenient thing if you work on a lot of monitors to be able to power monitors just sort of on your test bench without having to hook up a whole cabinet or whatever. Let's see. So we'll do that one soon. Angelina asked, how about taking arcade auction video? So interesting you say that. There is an upcoming video that is auction related. Let's see. Stringer shooting a ton of SFGE, Southern Fried Game Room Expo. Should definitely post that. So yeah, so this coming weekend's video is going to be that really nerdy monitor test bench power supply. And I have 6 more pickup videos that I have to do. So I've got 6 more games out in the garage that I haven't shown you guys yet. Okay, and I know. I've got a problem. I can't stop. I was at my kids had practice tonight, and I'm standing around talking to other parents. My wife was right there, and One of the guys had been talking about, like, he wanted to get a pinball and an arcade machine or something like that. And he's been to our house. He's friends with us, but it's been, I don't know if he's really, I don't think he's ever been in the arcade. Just been over for, dinner or something. And I was talking to him about, like, hey, pinball machine, think of it like a motorcycle, right? It's going to cost like what a motorcycle costs, and it might have, have the maintenance, similar maintenance requirements to a motorcycle, but a video arcade game is a lot cheaper and a lot simpler, whatever. And he's like, oh, how many do you have? And I said, well, I've got like 15 in the basement and 15 in the garage. And my wife heard 50. She's like, you've got 50 in the garage? When did this happen? I'm like, no, only 15, right? So I'm not that much of a degenerate. So, but with that being said, I've got 6 more pickup videos to show over the coming months that I haven't really, revealed yet. However, what I will say is, if you've seen that, stupid commercial video that I did for the to advertise and promote the channel membership, so like instead of Save the Children, it's Save the Cabarets. There's quite a few Easter eggs in there, right? So there are some games, again, that I haven't talked about that are very obviously in the background there. There are some that I've like turned around to make it less obvious what they are because I want them to be a surprise. But just to give a little taste of what to expect. So one of these games is one that I rescued from an abandoned mall in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, and it's actually kind of an oddball variant. So that'll be an interesting one to take a look at. And yes, I got it from an abandoned mall in Cincinnati, and I think it was a fully legal sale and not somebody selling stolen merchandise. But yeah, so we'll talk about that. And I filmed the pickup at that abandoned mall. Another one is probably the most common game that's not already in my collection. So very, very common game. So people have often asked me, like, hey, when are you going to do a restoration of this game? So that'll be coming up, and it's not Pac-Man. Another one is the first game from a major manufacturer that, otherwise I don't have any other games for, so I'm excited about that. And that one's also got an interesting story about how I got it and what's been done to it and what we're going to need to do. Not a Golden Tee conversion. Let's see. Another one, a duplicate. So this is the first game I have where I'm going to have 2 of now, and it's empty though, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do with it. So we'll talk about that. So that probably is not going to be a keeper because I don't need 2 of a game. Another one is the first game that I'll own that has a steering wheel. So I've got like racing games for the PlayChoice 10, like Rad Racer and maybe some others. But this is the first game I have that's got a steering wheel and gas pedal. And I actually bought that from, it's a project. All of these are projects. I got that from Dell, from Delusional's Arcade. Angelina says, get a Crazy Climber. That would actually be kind of cool. Kurt's got a Mortal Kombat 1 original cab and a Neo Geo 4 slot. Everyone's talking about what they got. Baby Pac-Man pin, that would be cool. Let's see. And I was talking about, you were mentioning auctions just a moment ago, Angelina. So the 5th or 6th pickup video I need to do is my first, the game. I finally won a game at auction. And I picked it up again around the 4th of July holiday. And that'll be interesting to talk about that one. That's definitely an interesting game. Interesting for a couple of reasons. One, I would say, and this might be something that I work into the title, it's arguably the best game in the worst arcade series of all time. And it appears in the Vintage Arcade Gal price guide book that's over here somewhere. Not just the game, my cabinet, the one I own that I just bought, there's a picture of that exact cabinet, that copy, that one. And I lined up all the wear patterns and the control panels, the overlays all messed up in a certain way. My game, my cabinet, I didn't take the picture of it, is in that price guide. And I also have, this one I have mentioned, I've got a second Robotron out in the garage. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. And the prices for Robotrons have been going through the roof. I could put a J-Rock in it. I have basically pieced together a Robotron, a PCB set, not working, but we'll figure out what we do with that second Robotron. I also have my eye on some other stuff. I know I can't stop, so those I'll probably be adding you know, another game or two by the end of the year, I'm sure. These deals just find me at some point. I've also got 3. Yeah, we should all meet up at Galloping Ghost. I've got 3 short videos in the hopper that I just need to finish editing and launch. Ethan's also been a long time subscriber. Thank you, Ethan, for your support. What's good? Hey, thanks for joining. So I've got 3 of these like 60-second arcade tours. 2 of them from, of all places, Idaho. So I was in Idaho for work and did a tour of a couple arcades there, and then one in Pennsylvania that I was recently at. I do want to do some more shorts. I've got some ideas. Maybe do like I got this idea from Retrobotics, Liam and Sam, of doing like a retrospective on a restoration that I did long before I started a YouTube channel. So I could do like a retrospective on restoring this Donkey Kong, restoring the first Robotron, restoring the Tempest Cabaret, or the Donkey Kong Jr. So I could do like short videos of like, I have pictures. I don't know if I really have any old videos from those restorations, maybe from the Tempest. But I could like chop those up into like a 60-second video to talk about like, hey, let's restore Donkey Kong in 60 seconds. That might be fun. I need to do like an updated tour of the collection because it's changed quite a bit since we started the channel. And I know I've been talking about this forever and people keep asking for this. I still want to do a video about how I score these amazing deals, like games for free, games for $100, rare games for $100. I definitely do want to do that. Maybe even like sit down and like not just talk about it, but do like, yeah, $200. I got this. I think I got this Play Choice 10 for $200 or $250, but it's not for sale. Sorry, Steve. I want to do a video like, here's how I find these things, right? And even like do it real time and go on Facebook Marketplace and go on Craigslist and talk about like even how to negotiate and how to talk, you know, because like if you don't do that kind of thing for a living and if you don't buy and sell things for a living, and it's not really my job, it's maybe 10% of my job to do wheeling and dealing stuff. Like I don't do sales, but I'm often involved in sales. If you don't do it for a living, right? Like whether you're buying an arcade machine or a pinball or a car or something, it can be intimidating. So I'll give a bunch of tips for that. I might do that as a members only video, right? Maybe like say, hey, this is sacred knowledge, right? And maybe you need to pay $2 to see this, to potentially save thousands, right? Because like one of the big things that I try to do with my channel is help people understand and realize that anybody can get these things, right? And you know, if you don't have deep pockets, and most people don't, right? I don't have unlimited funds, certainly not. You know, if you're buying these fully restored from like a retailer, you know, like for example, TNT Amusements, you know, Todd Tucky, they do amazing work, but they don't do cheap work, right? So you're not buying an Asteroids from them for $100, right? I got this one for $100. It was working, right? You know, so if you've got money or really just want to buy one and have it perfectly working, whatever, go to TNT Amusements. But if you don't have the money to get a full room of games that are perfectly working like that, there are you know, techniques that you can use to go and find, you know, awesome deals, especially if you're willing to buy a broken game and put a little work into getting them, you know, up and running. And often, you know, like I don't do this professionally. I don't have a, you know, I'm not an electrical engineer or anything like that. But if you have a little bit of patience and you're willing to, you know, Google stuff and read and learn, yeah, Wayne is saying he doesn't think he's paid more than $500 for any of his stuff, you know, other than his Mario wide body. Yeah, buy projects, spend the money on parts, and you know, you'll put sweat equity into it, and you'll, you know, put a, you know, a couple hours, nights and weekends in, you'll have a game working again. Yeah, Steve Lady says he doesn't have unlimited funds either. He's just irresponsible. You know, kids' college or gain ground. Well, you know, there are things like esports scholarships right now. So maybe if your kids get good enough at Gain Ground or Fortnite or Rocket League or you know, Warzone or something, they can get an esports scholarship and you won't have to pay for college. But yeah, so, you know, trying to help people understand whether it's both, you know, from like sourcing these deals and buying these things and then working on them, you know, anybody can have games like this if you know sort of how to do it. And yeah, I try to make that sort of something that seems, you know, within reach for anybody. So that's kind of the stuff that I wanted to cover. Jumping General asks, how's the Joust doing? That's actually a perfect segue in timing. So Joust is working perfectly with maybe 2 exceptions. One, and let me come over and we'll take a look at this. We still have that little pixel on the screen, and now it's covered up. Oh, there it is right there, that little red dot under the I in Williams. That's not supposed to be there. I think that's a video RAM issue, but I don't want to mess with it because it'll probably break if I try to fix that, and I'll just live with that right now. The other issue that I'm having is, let me do this, is with the lockout, one of the lockout coils. So this is a real OCD thing. So we'll open up the Joust right here. So, okay, if you don't know, this thing right here, I don't really want to touch it because it's energized, is a lockout coil. There's one here and there's one here. And basically what lockout coils do is prevent people from putting money in the machine when it's not turned on, right? So basically this is a coil, it's a magnetic coil, it's basically an electromagnet. And when the game is off, it basically, there is a like a piece of metal that prevents money from actually going into the coin bucket. And just, so if you put so basically the idea is if you put a quarter in the game, when the game is turned off, the quarter gets immediately rejected and returned to you, right? And so this is to prevent, and I think, back in the day, and maybe is the case still now, technically, a lot of municipalities, local jurisdictions would, want to prevent, kids or whoever from walking up to a game that's turned off, putting money in the machine and losing their quarter because it went through the coin mecca, was accepted, but the game wasn't on, so they didn't get a credit for it. So these lockout coils are designed to prevent you from putting the machine and losing your quarter when the machine's not on, right? And these things fail, right? So a coil, just like in a pinball machine, eventually it burns out, dies, whatever. And if that happens, you can't use that coin mech because the lockout coil, when it energizes, like the magnet turns on and it pulls this piece of metal out of the way so that it doesn't divert the quarter to the reject line, basically. And so when these lockout coils fail, and they often do, people either just remove them or they like bend them out of the way. You'll often see them bent out of the way to prevent that from interfering. And I'm looking, and this one is not working, and you're really not going to be able to see a great angle, but the lockout coil, even though it's on, that lockout coil is still in there. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll close this up, and I will grab a couple of quarters, and here's my bucket of quarters over here. And we'll start by putting a quarter into the left one here, and it'll go right in. Yep, and we heard it, and it even says credits 1 right there. But this one goes right into the reject, over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. And I want to fix this. So let's do something here. I grabbed another lockout coil, and these things apparently aren't easy to find. I found a let me grab the tripod. We're gonna fix this live, or at least try. We're gonna try to fix this live. All right. Okay, who thinks I can do this? Okay, let's get this a little bit lower. So basically what I did was I stole or cannibalized a lockout coil from that Robotron, that second Robotron that's out in the garage. So I stole one off of, let's go over here. Yeah, live coil transplant. Okay, we'll go right here, and maybe I should turn it away for a second so you don't see my out of shape legs. I'm gonna, let's see how do we do this. I'll try to do this without killing myself. I'm gonna turn the game off. All right, Joust is off, so I will not be electrocuting myself. So let's grab some tools here. So I don't even know for a fact that this lockout coil, yeah, down the rabbit hole, will be up until 4 o'clock in the morning fixing this. So this is a lockout coil that I stole, cannibalized off of the Robotron in the garage. And so basically, they're mounted like this, right? And there's a diode here and two spots for the power to be clipped on. And basically this little piece here, when the coil is off, it's not magnetized, and so this piece of metal like interferes with the route that the quarter would follow. But when it's energized, the coil becomes magnetic and pulls it open, right? So the quarter can pass through. So let's do this live coil transplant. And the first thing we need to do is move the coin mech out of the way, and I want to do this without damaging anything. There we go. So here is our coin mech, and I think the coin mech works just fine. And let's see. Is this mounted different? Did we already fail? This looks different than, oh my gosh. It's different. This is, so I should have planned this out better. So this here, maybe we can still do this. Oh, I don't know. Oh my gosh. This is like a whole integrated piece. It goes all the way down. This is all one piece. And this is like, this was mounted. So like, how would I even do this? Let me get my head in the way. How would this even work? Let me see. Would it work like this? Can I take it off of this mounting and transplant just the Dal, do you know how this works? Let me see if I can transplant just this piece. I got to remember that that direction is up. Maybe I can do just that coil part. Maybe I can do that. All right. So I'm going to remember that that's the correct way to go. Remember, black on the bottom and red on the top. Red on top, red on top. Okay, I think this will actually work. Okay. Oh, the whole thing is twisting. Let's take this out. Place your bets now on whether or not you think this is going to work, or whether or not you think I'm going to have to grab the fire extinguisher. All right, that goes like that. And they look the same. Let's see if I can line this up. Oh my goodness. And I'm surprised that there's a difference between the Robotron and Joust coin doors, and how the Robotron one had a sort of less complicated setup. All right, let's see. It's grabbing, it's threading on. All right. I think that might work. Okay, let's try. So I've got the new, if you can see it, the new coil is installed there. And we've got the coin mech that I've got to fish back in. I'm trying to do it without my big old head getting in the way, which is a huge problem when recording videos. Trying not to stick my head, I'm sorry. When I'm not recording, it's a lot easier to just, stick my head wherever it needs to go to help me see. But yeah, I think we're on. And what was it? It was red on top, right? Black on the bottom. So we'll plug these back on. All right, so I believe that should work. So let me put the parts aside so I don't lose them. And, okay, everyone please keep your fingers crossed. I'm going to leave the camera tucked in here, and let's see if we can kind of see it happen. So there's the lockout coil there, and you can kind of see that little piece of metal. When I turn it on, hopefully that coil pops it open. Yeah, Ethan, you're betting 10 bucks. Is it going to work or not work? All right, so I'm going to jump up on the top again. 3, 2, 1. Nope. Nope. I don't think it's The power, though, I don't think it's the power. Oh, it is working. Hold on. Okay, I had to nudge it. All right, I turned off the power and it closed. Let's turn it back on. Okay, I think, let me turn it off again. And hopefully I'm not destroying. Oh, I probably reset the, I bet you what just happened is I reset the settings. I think what's going on is it's like aligned weird. And it's kind of like blocked a little bit. Because this coil is energizing. Let me push it a little bit closer. And bend it together a little bit. Because you saw it was opening it, but it's like maybe not strong enough. Is this on all the way? All right. All right. So it did work. Maybe it needs, maybe I need to put some like WD-40 on this spring or something. All right, let's turn it back on, see if that does it. No. But see, like it works if I just nudge it a little bit. And I can't keep it open. Let's do this. All right. What the heck? Maybe I need to mess with this spring. Because the magnet is working, so just needs a little bit of, oh, and that's, all right. That bulb wanted to, ooh, I might need a new bulb, or the connection here isn't great. All right. So let's try that again. So yeah, that might be the spring. So I don't know, does that mean all bets are off? So let's try to coin it up right here. It worked. We've got a credit. Why don't we play a little bit of Joust? Huh? How does that sound? What am I missing in the live chat? And one of the cool things about Joust is it remembers that you turn the game off with a credit on. All right, so it's working. Maybe not the way I want it to, but that still counts, right? Dillweed, what is going on? Thank you for joining. And Dillweed, weren't you? Oh, look how unbalanced the camera is. Can I fix that? I just made it worse. Dillweed, what's going on? Dillweed, weren't you just on the Arcade Radio podcast? Another great set of content creators. I know I've chatted quite a bit with Mark Time Runner Shields, who's on TikTok and Twitter. I'm just putting the tools away. And yeah, Dillweed, weren't you just on that podcast showing off? You've got a pretty incredible collection, especially older stuff. Russell said his girlfriend said nice socks. Well, I didn't want to go barefoot. And it gets warm, a little bit warm down here when all the games are on. But what did I miss? Yeah, we were just working on, I know, turning the game on and off will cause issues. I know, Dell. I want to say, thanks, Dad, but sorry. All right, let's play a little bit of, Joust. All right. Yeah, thanks, Dillweed, I appreciate it. Yeah, you've got some really cool stuff. All right, how we looking good? All right, let's start a game. And again, I'll show you. I have these optical, you can't even see, the optical joystick version of Joust, which is somewhat unusual, somewhat rare. And my theory, based on all the available evidence, is that this was like a, oh my gosh, I'm not paying attention. The optical joysticks actually were in the middle of the production run. You know, the theory was originally that they were the early run games, but that doesn't make any sense because all of the flyers, you know, which would have been prototype games, show the regular leaf switch joysticks, and all of the serial numbers for known optical joystick jousts are actually in the middle of the sequence. So my suspicion is it was maybe for like a month or so, like February of '83, maybe, where you know, a few, maybe 100 jousts were made with optical joysticks. And yeah, I like this strategy of just hanging out down here and, oops, and talking while I'm trying to pay attention and losing a life. But yeah. So yeah, I think, and you know, this joust, obviously, if you had found or watched the restoration series, this joust had been converted to a game, an SNK game called Street Smart. And so basically I had to piece everything together, source all the, oh my gosh, source all the parts I needed, PCB. I mean, there was a monitor, there was a power, you know, isolation transformer, you know, suitcase setup, but ooh, that was a close call. Oh, double. Oh. So I had to piece everything together, the joysticks and the artwork, and we had to recover the original side art, which had been painted over, and then touch it up. Oh no, touch it up a little bit. Well, we got another credit. So, oh man, starting a new game. So yeah, this was a really, really fun restoration. One of the most in-depth ones that I've done, and I'm really happy that I was able to share it with everybody on this channel. Yeah, how did they run out of leaf switches? So I don't think they ran out of leaf switch joysticks, Ethan. I think one of the things I heard, I think it was either Brad or Lonnie McDonald, who's the joust master, right? He's probably the world's ooh, that's cool, world's best joust player. The theory is that the leaf switch joysticks were failing too much. And to placate operators, they tried going with the optical joysticks that maybe were believed to be more reliable because, you know, fewer moving parts or whatever, the joysticks would, or the leaf switches would fail. Obviously, the optical joystick is a much more complicated, like electronically complicated thing. It's not just a simple mechanical leaf switch, but that could have been what it was. You know, it was like viewed as a upgrade over the mechanical leaf switch, but so now these things are rare, hard to find. Brad hooked me up with a great deal. This was sort of from his stash, and he had restored these himself, and he gave me a great deal because, you know, trying to buy these on eBay, you'll end up spending, it'd be cheaper just to buy a joust than to buy the optical joysticks. But Brad definitely gave me the friends and family discount, I think. Let's see, try to concentrate a little bit here and not embarrass myself again. You know, you're supposed to be good at games that you own, right? Whoa. Ooh, sorry, I'm probably, Lonnie's like, you're gonna mention my name and play this poorly? Sorry, I need more practice, Lonnie. Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can grab that egg. I haven't even made it to like an egg stage. I don't think I'm going to catch it. Oh, floated back down. All right. And I have, oh, there's a pterodactyl, which I have actually by accident destroyed once. You know, like it says during the attract mode, beware the unbeatable pterodactyl. But I have defeated it. I think there's like, you got a 1 pixel hitbox that you can destroy the pterodactyl with. And I believe that might be a bug in a ROM revision. All right, there we go. Okay, down to these two. Here we go. Awesome. Egg wave. This is like a bonus round. Collect all, well, not really, but it's like collect all the eggs before they hatch. And oh, got me. Okay. Let's hang out down here until they kind of make their way down. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch in the live chat, but we'll be wrapping up the live stream probably relatively soon. If there's a game that you want to see me play, leave a comment down below. Ooh. Say, Charlie, I want to see, you know, oof, oof. We got Donkey Kong, Tempest, Armor Attack, Asteroids. We got a bunch of games on the Play Choice 10 I mentioned earlier, which ones we've got. We've got the Munsters and the Star Trek Pinball. We've got the Donkey Kong Jr. Cocktail. Here we go. You know, in the other room, I probably don't want to go over there into the kids' room where I've got the NBA Jam and the Centipede and what else? What do we got working in the garage? We've got Carnival. Probably don't want to. I bet you the live stream will fail if I try to go all the way up there and it moves to a different Wi-Fi access pod in the house. All right. Wow. Okay. Let's see. This is this is an okay game for me. This might be one to put on the high score table. I think I probably reset the high score table by turning the game on and off with the coin door open. There we go. Let's concentrate, Charlie. Concentrate. Concentrate. There we go. All right, doing okay. Oh, close one there. Oh, no. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think? Oh my gosh. Get out of there. One more, one more. Open air. Oh, I'm done. I hit 50,000 though. Put my initials in. Charlie, Foxtrot, Golf. Oh, I guess it didn't lose my high score. So that's probably the second highest that I've done on this cabinet for sure. So let's come over here and maybe get a wider shot of current state of the arcade. And I will come over and take a quick look at what I've been missing in the live chat. And let's see here. Let's see. Steve says he's got an offer to trade Mach 3 for Joust, but that feels like quitting. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Thank G.I. Joel says congrats on the 1K. Thank you, sir. Thank you. G.I. Joel I've been on a live stream with, I think, with Outrun the Neon Sun, who I hope he's doing well. I know he's in the middle of moving. Yeah, there's Dillweed says there's a trick to killing the pterodactyl, hitting it in the mouth or something. It's like a 1 pixel hitbox. Dell said, okay, I'm out. Hey, Dell, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Okay, Ethan, you got it. You asked for it. You got it. Ethan says, speaking of, let's see some Asteroids gameplay. All right. What time is it? I think that's what we're going to do to wrap it up. Dillweed then says, so I have to ask, because I'm a goofball, what are your future plans for the depth charge? I asked earlier, unsure if you saw the message. So I bought the correct buttons for it. So mine has white buttons, which are incorrect. The depth charge originally came with red buttons. So I did order red buttons for that, and I did order a cap kit. So I'm going to get that a little bit worked up, a little bit touched up. I don't know if I want to try removing the black paint off of the front kick plate and see if the original is exposed there. And Dell was saying that Troy has his art that was at a party there. His place is called Arcade-Documentaries. He's got about 100 games. It was wigging out a little bit when we were there, but apparently it's all fixed up now. So that's good. His depth charge, but yeah, Dillweed, if you're asking because you're really interested in getting a depth charge, you know, you're not the first person to say that, but you know, I've actually never sold or traded a game, but I'm not ethically or morally against it. Yeah, have your people, you know, call my people or something if you want to do that. But let's see, let's find a good angle here. All right, and yeah, I know Dillweed, you're really, how's that looking? Dillweed is really, his collection I think focuses on, you know, black and white, bronze era. He has later stuff too, but I think that's the sort of highlight is the That's probably good as an angle as we're going to get. We grab some moolah to put in this thing. Maybe we'll play a game of asteroids, and if there's anything else anyone wants to play, we'll play one more and go from there. So here we go, starting up, and maybe I have a good angle of seeing this. The camera is again in the way, and I am not the world's best player. The fire button's not working right. The fire button's stuck. I can even feel it. It's maybe I fixed it by hitting it enough. Why don't I kill myself and we'll start a new game. You saw that, right? You could hear me hit the button and it wasn't. Yeah. Let's end this real quick. Okay, let me grab into the corner. I think it worked itself out. That I might have to investigate that leaf switch. It might need to be adjusted. All right, here we go. Starting the actual game. And isn't there a trick where you blow up the big asteroids as quickly as possible to get as many little ones on the screen? Oh, that's not good. To get as many tiny asteroids on the screen, because the hardware can only support, you know, so many at once, and it will actually remove those asteroids because it can't display all of them at once. All right. What am I doing? Oh my goodness. I know what I'm doing. I'm at a weird angle because I'm trying to let you all see it. Yeah, there's a maximum number of asteroids that can be displayed at once. There we go. I think if I die real quick, I'll play one more game of asteroids. But yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want me to play before we call it a night here. And I appreciate everyone hanging out for so long. There we go. And those little UFOs are worth 1,000 points, I think. But they will aim at you. There we go. I feel like I don't have it. It's not a good game unless... Oh, and that button, I don't feel like how that's feeling. Could be my kids are wailing on this thing. Play Star Trek next. Sure, I'll do that for you, Steven. We'll play a little bit of pinball. There we go. Yeah, I feel like if I don't score 10,000 points, it was a terrible game of asteroids. There we go. Let's get back to the middle. I like hanging out in the middle. All right, accidentally hit the asteroid. I do like to do that sort of UFO or flying saucer mining, which is, isn't that like not, oh. Isn't that not allowed, right? Isn't that like against, what do you call it? Twin Galaxies rules, right? You're not allowed to, you know what? I probably should have taken the glass off the pins, but then it would have made it super loud. Let's see. And I don't think I can like rotate the, how am I gonna do this? I don't think I can rotate the camera in the live stream and like make it vertical, but then you guys would have to like rotate how you're watching. What's a good way to, what's a good angle here? How's that? Does that look okay? Let me know before I start a game here. Let me know if that looks okay. And Ethan wants Robotron. I'll do that too. We'll end with, we started with Robotron, we can end with Robotron. Stringer says he's got to go pick up a $300 Domino Man. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Yeah, good luck on the world record at asteroids. We've still got 20 people watching. This is fantastic. Steven says I'm fine with it. Okay. A little bit of water. We'll put some money. Put 50 cents. Everything in here runs on quarters, at least in this room. And yeah, we've got a credit dot because I can never make that left ramp shot. But here we go. What should I do? Launch probe. we'll make sure that my cannons are working. All right, my kids love playing the pins down here. And outlane. Maybe we'll play 2 games of Star Trek. But then we will end with Robotron. All right, how about light lock? Let's do that one. I like doing the Borg multi-ball. And you have to lock a couple of balls in order to do that. So, but yeah, huge fan of Star Trek, especially the classic stuff. I grew up on The Next Generation and then watched all the original cast, original series movies, obviously. Really like, obviously, you know, what's the joke? All the even numbered Star Trek movies are the best ones. 2, 4, 6, and First Contact, right? Let's see. Lock. Here come the Borg, right? And I think the only mod that I have a little Borg cube over there. But, oof. And I'm talking too much when I should be paying attention. Ooh, yeah, we're going to play another game. Because there goes ball 3. Okay, let's see. Oh, that was terrible. Let's see if I can clear out that credit dot by making that left ramp shot, which is like the, is that the Delta Quadrant? You know, I would have, so yeah, loved Star Trek The Next Generation, and I was so much of a nerd that I would, like, read the books, right? There was, you know, I grew up in a small town. Oh my gosh. Ball save. Yep. Grew up in a small town, wasn't much to do. Like during the summer, I would read like $100 a summer, 100 books a summer. Go to the library every week, get a, you know, half a dozen books and read like one a day. And one of the things I would love getting were the Star Trek The Next Generation books. They would do, you know, novels about episodes and, you know, original stuff too. And yeah, so big Star Trek nerd. And one of the things, there's 2 things that like my wife and I did with our kids during, you know, COVID and all that. So my wife really likes Harry Potter, and I don't mind it, but I've got nothing. What should we do? Let's do Search the Galaxy, because that'll give us a reason to do that ramp shot. So my wife, with our 2 oldest, read, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing. My wife with the 2 oldest read all the Harry Potter books, and every time they finished one of the books, they'd get to watch the movie, so that was a little incentive for them. And I started watching all the Star Trek series, and we made it all the way where we haven't finished it because it's a lot, but we made it all the way to, we're in like halfway through Voyager. So, you know, 7 of 9 has joined the crew, and you know, Kess is gone, but yeah, I think my oldest, his favorite is Deep Space Nine, all the Dominion War stuff, all the Dominion War stuff, and I'm surprised they never did anything for Deep Space Nine. There was never a arcade game, there was never a pinball machine. And maybe it's because, you know, while it was on TV in its original run, Deep Space Nine was a bit of a you know, a dark horse or the black sheep, right? Because they made that, you know, obviously they had the Next Generation pinball machine. Oh, do I have the ball safe still? Yes, okay, we got one more ball left. But yeah, they never did anything with Deep Space Nine. Oh my gosh. But I don't know if you noticed this. We'll go up like this. Up on top of my back glass is, I got a couple of Hallmark ornaments. That's a Klingon bird of prey, and that's the Defiant. One of my favorite Star Trek ships. All right, and Ethan asked for Robotron, so let me see what I'm... clean the contacts, yeah, for the leaf switches. Play Star Trek next, Robotron afterwards. Um, Sam says, not a mod fan. Me neither. Only, and that mod was done before I got it. Only mod on his Star Trek is a color DMD. Color DMDs are cool. All right. So, oh, hey, Matt Pace, what's going on? Thanks for joining. And let's go ahead and let's end on Robotron. We began with Robotron. Let's end with Robotron. See if maybe I can position this in a way where I'll have a bit more access. It was hard, the angle that I was playing at before. I'll back it up a little bit here. Let's go like this. All right. And Robotron, you know, some days is my favorite game. You know, if you put me up to it and said, Charlie, what's your absolute favorite game? You know, some days it's Tempest, some days it's Robotron, maybe once in a while it's Donkey Kong, but water. There's just something about the frantic gameplay of of Robotron. Tim, what's going on? That Tim guy. Did we play Armor Attack? Not yet, but because you asked, I will play Armor Attack too. We'll do one game of Robotron and we'll do one game of Armor Attack, and we'll wrap up there. Thanks for joining, Tim. So I'll put a quarter on Armor Attack. We'll drop one into Robotron and see what we can do here. Can you see? Yeah, you can see what I'm playing, right? That looks good. All right, let's try to actually do halfway decently here. And so I started the stream with Robotron, and we'll do this and then Armor Attack and then call it a night. Yeah. This is just for looking at, right? Ooh, we have a Mikey. Come on. Nope, Mikey died. All right. Let's see. Pick up some mom. Oh, didn't get that mommy in time. Nope. And guys, like I always tell you, don't watch my videos for tutorials on how to play games. Yeah, and I always say that I like working on games just as much as, oh my gosh. Well, okay. we gotta wrap it up pretty soon. So let's come over here. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn on the light just because Armor Attack has this overlay, and which is really hard to see when there's no light on. Oh yeah, thanks, nice shirt, yeah. Tim was at this party too, and Tim was a big part. He was one of the organizers. So let's come in here like this. Ooh, that's some glare. How are we gonna deal with that? Yeah, maybe that's okay because it's sort of like where the that building is. So yeah, you have this overlay that kind of like shows you this blown up city, kind of like a maze almost. And when you turn the light off, right, you can't really see it, right? Like you can sort of make it out on the camera, but like in real life, it's almost impossible to see that that city outline, right? So, you know, I almost wish that there was some sort of thing, you know, where there was like a hole or some sort of way for the light from the marquee to like shine down a little bit, kind of like how, you know, Joust and Robotron have the light from the marquee sort of illuminating the control panel a little bit. I'll show you what I'm talking about over here. Yeah, almost needs a fancy black light. So like you see how the Robotron control panel is a little bit illuminated. That's because there's sort of a gap between the bezel and the speaker grill that allows light from the marquee to shine down. Similarly, if we look over here, Matt Pace says Dragon's Lair was a dumb game. You can see that on Joust over here too, similar sort of thing. We had Jeff Kinder on earlier, and those would have been fighting words to Jeff saying Dragon's Lair was a dumb game, but I'm not a huge fan of laser games myself, but I do enjoy playing Dragon's Lair. Yeah, let's play Armor Attack. So again, Armor Attack, vector game, Tim Skelly, Cinematronics. You play this, you know, one of these tiny little Jeeps, and you're in a war-torn city, and you have to contend with tanks and helicopters that are trying to blow you up. You hit the tank, and you immobilize it, but it stays alive for a little bit and has the turret that can still shoot at you even if it can't drive around. So you got to shoot it again to kill it or wait for it to blow up. And that just like you, the tanks have to follow the road. They can't go through buildings, but the helicopters can fly over them. And yeah, why don't we play a game here? Oh, it's also, I forgot. Oh, and it's weird because the player 1 controls are on the right side and the player 2 is on the left side. This is a simultaneous 2-player vector game. A little bit uncommon. So, and there we go, our Morse code, which tells you not to register for the draft. So, here we go. All right, you got to double tap those tanks. All right, and when you hit a helicopter, the score for tanks goes up. All right, get out of there. All right. Oh, they're coming at me now. You see how that turret is still alive? Now the helicopter's gunning for me. I think the sound is way too loud. Yeah, I think the sound, there might be some issue with the sound. Oh, they got me. Whew. That was intense. That was intense. All right. Oh yeah, something's messed up with the sound. We'll have to, I don't know. Maybe the speaker's starting to go. You get 5 lives, right? 5 Jeeps. Yeah, I got 2 Jeeps left. All right. Ooh. All right, I can just wait it out, right? Yeah. Extra Jeep. There we go. Yeah, something's weird. Something's not going on. That's not supposed to sound like that. Oh, they got me. Let's see. Should be 2 Jeeps left. Yeah, that's a pretty good game. 1230 points right now. Well, not when you play like that, Charlie. All right. That's it. Let's see. What's our final score? 1,380 points. That might be a new personal record. That might be a new personal record. So why don't we come over here and we'll turn these lights off. Okay. Hey, still me, still here. So I think we're gonna wrap it up. What do y'all think? So we still have 17 people watching right now, and I feel terrible. I feel terrible leaving when there's so many people still watching the stream. Thank you all so much for joining this live stream. We've had tons of people. I think, if I'm reading it right, it says 137 views. Does that mean 137 different people? Is that what that means? So, or that's the total number of times the stream was viewed while live. Let's see. What did I miss? Okay, so Tim, we got that Armor Tech gameplay in for you. Yeah, it's a hard game, insanely fun. I agree with you, Dillweed. You got to figure out what's going on with that sound. Matt's good at Galaga and Centipede. I've got both. I've got the Centipede in the other room and a Galaga I have in a class of 1981 combination Miss Pac-Man Galaga game. That's at my office at work in a break room, and I was there today. Somebody had beat my high score on Galaga, but not Miss Pac-Man. Yeah, maybe a really subtle LED mod to eliminate the overlay. Let's see. Cube Quest. I'm not really familiar with Cube Quest, Dillweed. Yeah. All right. So Encore says, have a good night. Ralphie, hey. Ralphie Duran, thanks for joining. Says you have to have grown up before Dragon's Lair's release in order to appreciate its beauty of a game. I was born before Dragon's Lair came out, but I can't say I grew up before Dragon's Lair came out. Yeah, Matt. You know, I've actually been doing some repair parties lately, like especially with Mark, who's opening up that arcade in Winchester. But that's a lot of fun, working on games with friends. So anyway, this went on so much longer than I expected. I have an early day at work tomorrow. So again, I just want to say, you know, from the bottom of my heart to all of you, thank you for all of your support. Thank you for watching my stupid videos, hanging out with me on live streams. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping push us over 1,000 subscribers. You know, we're coming up on 1,200. Thank you for everything, all the likes, comments, subscriptions, shares, all of the people who have become channel members. All, like in this right here, we got, you know, $21 in super thanks, super chats here. Totally unnecessary, but totally appreciated. Anyone that's bought a t-shirt or a hat or sticker, anything like that, thank you so much. Good night, Ethan. Good night, Dillweed. Good night, Stephen. Everyone who's still on right now. I think people are popping back on. Now we're going up, right? As I'm saying goodbye. I think we're at 22 viewers right now. Thank you all so much for all of your support. You know, the fact that there's people out there that enjoy this stuff means a ton to me. Both, hey, Cameron, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Cameron was on, we were talking about you earlier too. Cameron was on the Coin Jam podcast, was it last month or the one before? I think it was last month. But yeah, thank you, all of you. Thank you so much for everything. I know Cameron just bought a hat, and I think I got an update that it shipped. I can't see who the orders are for, but Cameron told me that he bought a hat, and then I saw a hat order pop up, so I'm assuming that's for him. But anyway, yeah, it shipped. Awesome. So again, thank you all so much. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for everything, the subscriptions, the channel members, the super chats. You know, especially I want to say again to Jerry Voluptuous, who's been so generous so many times. Stringer Films also with lots of super chats. Jerry's also a channel member, which is fantastic. We have a ton of fun in the members only Discord. Jeff Kinder earlier had it was a $1 billion super chat donation, which was awesome. So thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm going to sign off here. I'm going to turn off the arcade. I'm going to go to bed, go to sleep to get up and work in the morning. But again, thank you all so much. You've been watching Overtime Arcade. I'm Charlie signing off. I'll see y'all next time.